a look at some basic string properties and method. Actually, the string properties section is going to be really short, and it should even be called string property because not that strings don't have other properties, but for our purposes here and for if we're looking at really what's useful, the only property that we really use very often with a string is the length property. And when we have a string variable like strtext equal to the string hello with an exclamation point, if we use the property to access the length, so strtext dot length is how we would access that, it will return the number of characters in that string. And that's really the main property that we care about. There are other string properties, but really nothing that is widely used. So let's look at some methods. So string methods are all very interesting here and useful. And the first two, string to uppercase and string to lowercase, are pretty self-explanatory, but let's go ahead and take a look at those in a live code situation here. And if we are playing around with this little Scratch file here, I'm going to go ahead and type the code, and then I'm going to preview it in the web browser in Chrome so that we can actually look at the JavaScript console. So if I have a string text, and let's say, hello, everybody, and let's capitalize the E just so we have some variation in there. And let's say I'm going to say console.log, and let's do strtext dot to lowercase. And let's take a look at this and see what it produces. So I'll save that and let's open it in a new tab here. And let's take a look at what that does. So let's take a look at this in our new tab. And to do that, we're going to open up the console here and see. And you can see, hello everybody, here is all lowercase now. Likewise, if I go to uppercase, just like that, save it and refresh it. Now we're all uppercase. So if you want to shout at everybody, then we can change a string to all uppercase. Now note that if I do console.log strtext, I want to point out that the original strtext variable is not changed. So what that does is it doesn't, when I go strtext to uppercase, it doesn't change strtext. It returns strtext changed to uppercase. So if I wanted to, I could put that in a variable, str upper equals strtext to uppercase, just like that. There we go. And so instead of printing that, I can do this, and it does the same thing. But note, again, the original is not changed. I'm just taking that original and I'm using it to give me something new. So that's sort of an important thing to remember about all of these string methods, is that they don't change the original string. So if I want to use the character at or the car at method, let's take a look and see what that does. So if let's roll this back here, and character at, and I'm going to give it a number, an integer that is a position. So let's go 5. So 5, and when I look at that, it's the comma. Okay, so if I say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's the index. It's what is in position 5 if we start at 0 here. So that is this. If I change it to 7, you'll see that it becomes the capital E in everybody. Okay, so I am returning the character that is at each index. So if I wanted to take this one character at a time, that's one way that I could see what's in specifically that position in the string. And remember, a string is a sequence of characters that doesn't change. So those positions are significant. Taking a look at index of, okay, if I use index of on this, index of, and let's say E, then test it out, you can see 7. So this gives me the inverse. If I use char at, then it gives me the index. And if I use index of and give it a character or a sequence, then I can return the index. Now, let's say we have a character that's repeated multiple times. Okay, so if I say the letter O, lowercase, what's it going to give me since it's there twice? It's going to give me the first index. Okay, so if I wanted to be more specific, then I could use a more specific set of characters, in which case it gives me the first index. It gives me the index of the first character of that matching sequence. So there's the matching sequence, and the first character is the lowercase b, and that is in position or index 12 in that sequence of characters. So string slice takes 2. Okay, it says a start and an end. So if I wanted to go 7 to 12, then it's going to return every. That's 5 characters starting at position 7 and ending at 12. So I have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and it does not include 12. It ends before that. So you'll notice that it just returns every. It does not return inclusive of 12. It stops right before position 12, which position 12 is the B. So it gives me what's in 7 all the way through what's before 12. And then finally we have string.replace. And the way string.replace works is I'm going to look for a string that I want to replace or that I'm looking for. And then the next is what I want to replace it with. Okay. And it's going to return the entire string with this replaced with that. So let's look. And now it says hello everyone instead of hello everybody. So that's how that works. It is relatively simple, but it's going to look for an exact match. For example, if I look for every, that's all lowercase, and I replace it with Bill, it's just going to give me the string untouched because it cannot find every with a lowercase e. It only finds every with an uppercase b, e. And since we have a string that's a sequence of specific characters, the uppercase e and the lowercase e are not the same character. So they're the same letter, but it's important here, again, remember that strings are not words and sentences. They are a sequence of characters in the eyes of JavaScript. So even though we know that capital E and lowercase e are interchangeable to some extent, they're both the letter E, The JavaScript console does not recognize that. And it says that the uppercase E is not the same character as the lowercase e. So important thing to remember when you're playing around with string methods.